welcome to the final day of the Video and Visibility Summit. Today, I'm your host. I'm Julia Myles, creator of Be Your Own Business Celebrity, and I am super excited to be here. And today I'm interviewing your very own host, who you've seen through the whole summit long, the wonderful Anne Gould. Now, here's a few things you might not know about her. She's an experienced magazine and newspaper editor, familiar with features and news. She's an ex-film critic, a travel editor, even a sports reporter. She retrained with the wonderful Michael Rosenblum as a video journalist. You will find her now, she's also trained as a photographer, and you'll find her now these days helping tech-shy midlifers. She helps them to use their smartphones and to help them create great video content just using your phone, and also help you to use social media so you can communicate really great business stories for your business. She's amazing. She calls herself the smartphone video wizard. I love that. Please welcome, we all need her. We all need her. She's brilliant. Please welcome the one and only Anne Gould.
Hi, Julia. Yes, it's Anne, and thank you very much for doing this interview for me, because obviously I've been behind the scenes interviewing everybody for the whole summit, and I have, well, I'm sort of like immersed in everything video, and I have learned so much from all the other experts from around the world. So yeah, I'm just here to tell you a little bit about myself and how I got into video. So I started out in, as Julia says, in newspapers. I was a feature writer. I've interviewed loads and loads of A-listers, celebrities, politicians, sports stars, lots and lots of people I've interviewed. And one of the things that I really noticed when I was doing these interviews, that very often, you know, I'd be sitting there with my notepad and pen and taking shorthand notes, and sometimes it didn't matter how good a writer you are, you cannot sort of tell people about how people say something, you know, the pauses they make, the intonations and the looks on their face when they say things. And so when sort of video came along, the technology changed, and smartphones became readily available. I was really sort of keen to jump on board and use video to show people, you know, the stories that I have been sort of covering for years and years and years.
Fantastic, fantastic. So why is video so important?
Well, the thing about video is that it's the next best thing to being in the room with somebody, and I think that it's been growing and growing in popularity, you know, since obviously the smartphone came along. Now, recently, well, at the tail end of 2021, what happened was that, in fact, video and video communication sort of took a huge leap forward. I mean, it had been going on for a little while, but the people who sort of work out, you know, which websites are what, discovered that the top 3 websites were TikTok, which has supplanted Google, you know, the giant of the internet. So a video platform had supplanted Google. Google came in at 2nd place and YouTube came in at 3rd place. So this shows that the whole world is using video, and the statistics for video as far as uploads are, you know, especially even onto YouTube, are phenomenal. The numbers are so mind-boggling that, you know, you can't take it on. It's something like more video is loaded up onto YouTube per month than has been created through the whole history of film and TV.
That is absolutely mind-blowing, isn't it? And just hearing you talk about it really makes me go, wow, this is really important. And I know I've heard you talk about it, video being as important as learning to read or write. Tell me more about that.
Well, yes, absolutely. I think that obviously, when we grow up, we obviously learn to read and write, and we obviously learn to speak as little children, and these are become our sort of primary ways of communicating. And I'm not an educationist, but I would guess that actually the abilities to read and write are help with our sort of brain development, and certainly with our education. But these days, if we need to sort of communicate, especially in business, making video is, it's absolutely essential, because if people are switching to watching video rather than reading long streams of text, if our attention span has reduced from, sort of sitting down with a broadsheet newspaper every morning to sort of read columns and columns of print, to, wanting to get, sort of 15 seconds of video instead, then, as a business owner, we actually have to make that change, because otherwise, you're just not going to be able to keep up with the game.
So creating video for the business owner in 2022 is really important. Are you saying it's going to replace things like podcasts? Should we be making YouTube shows on our phones instead?
No. Well, I think that some people prefer to listen to audio, and podcasts are huge as well, but the facts are that it's two video platforms that are in those sort of in the top three. I personally don't listen very much to audio. I just don't, because I've got a slight hearing issue, so it's actually easier for me to watch. But obviously there is, it's very easy to make the transition from a video, especially recorded video like this, and turn it into an audio, because some people prefer to have audio, because if you're traveling in the car, you don't want to sit there and watch, or if you're sort of busy making supper, and you've got a sort of house full of sort of hungry teenagers that you need to feed, you don't want to watch either, you want to listen. But I certainly think that podcasts are huge, and I appreciate that many people listen, but it's not my sort of preferred form of content learning. I think that the thing is that as a business owner, you actually have to these days cater for everybody's sort of preferred style of learning, and taking on content.
I really hear you with that, in that yes, matching to people, where the way people like to digest content, but really seeing the value of video, and the fact that you can just take the audio from that and it can become that audio stream for you. But this real importance of video, or the power of video, and especially you said about people, the audience just wanting short bite-sized chunks as well, which is very immediate and easy to consume. Now, Anne, I know you work with social media. Social media is such a big thing. How does this all link with social media?
Well, the thing about video is that really there are sort of lots of things, aren't there? We have our website, and that there's sort of evidence that that, well, websites are very often static, aren't they? And people create their sort of perfect videos. They have their videographer come in and they do a perfect video, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it sort of goes onto a website and it sits there. But if you're marketing your business, you actually need to sort of do more than just have your website. And I think that traditionally they used to talk about the 7 touches of marketing, and then the internet came along and it became 12 touches of marketing, and now it might be sort of 21 touches. I'm not up there with everything that all those sort of top marketing gurus say, but we know that we need to make lots of touches of marketing to turn our audience into sort of potential our fans, and certainly, and then maybe hopefully into our customers. And so the way to make those sort of people more familiar with you is through social media. Now, every sort of different sort of social media platform, you know, does things differently. So, you know, a lot of people are using Reels on Instagram, and Instagram have said that you know, video is going to be a much bigger part of their platform moving forward. And you know, they've got all sorts of rules and regulations about how their video should be shown. So, you know, if you're hanging out on Instagram, you need to use, you know, the rules of Instagram to make your video, you know, you know, so obviously, you know, on Instagram you're using vertical video. Reels are, you know, often, you know, sort of quite perfect. They, you know, they're very, it's a very curated platform, and you need to think, well, if I'm going to be putting stuff out onto Instagram, I need to do that. You know, if you're on Twitter, you know, you can have sort of stuff that's going on in the street, because Twitter is very instant. It's very sort of a news sensitive. So, you know, you might be out and about and see something, and you can that's sort of very newsworthy, and you know, you can sort of snatch sort of 40 seconds and stick that up on Twitter. And then, you know, on TikTok, which is a platform I have come to really like, you know, the video there is a lot sort of it's sort of quite, it's very instant. You know, it's literally a matter of sort of putting up your camera up, sort of talking into your phone for sort of 15 seconds and hitting send, you know, and it's so it hasn't got that sort of necessarily that very polished feel that Instagram has. And, you know, and then there's the whole thing about live video as well, and how important live video is, you know, not just on Facebook, which most people sort of think of as far as live video is concerned, but, you know, you can do live video on Instagram, you can do it on obviously Twitch, but also on YouTube as well.
Wow, that's brilliant. It's really helpful and insightful to hear the sort of the slightly different requirements needed on each platform, but overall getting the real sense of how important it is to have that presence on social media. Tell us, what does the business owner need in their toolkit for communicating, their visual communication online, on the phone, you know, through the camera?
Well, I think, you know, one of the things that you need to know how to do is obviously to, you know, sort of be able to take a picture or a video using something like the rule of thirds, which is something that very handily you can get on your phone. You can go into your settings and put the thirds grid on your phone, and it means that the way that your video comes over, your photographs come over, a lot more balanced. You know, you haven't got sort of you know, a lamppost coming out of your head, or, you know, you can check for all those things, and you know, using those sort of, you know, very basic tools such as that can be, you know, really useful. You know, understanding you know, sort of what sort of format you need to put your videos out, and, you know, should they be landscape, should they be square, should they be vertical, and, you know, the resolution that you need to put your videos out in. You know, are you, you know, shooting, you know, very high quality video? Do you need on your phone, which you could, with high-end smartphones, you can create 4K video, which you can put out onto a big screen? Or is there something that's, you know, really instant? You're not terribly bothered about the quality, but you want it to be fast, so you'd shoot in a lower resolution. And I think that all those things are things that business owners need to obviously be aware of, because, you know, we can call in sort of helpers to help us, but, you know, sometimes you just need to put stuff out there and then. And I think that those are the things that people need to know.
Brilliant. That was very important things. Brilliant. Tell us, what do you think really holds people back from doing video? Because quite a lot of business owners, they know they need to do it, but what is it that's really holding them back from just saying, oh, just let's do it? Because it's obviously really valuable to get that video content going.
There are quite a few things that hold people back from making video. You know, one of them is the technical bit, which actually, you know, once you've learned it, it's like, learning to ride a bike. But then there's, you know, your confidence. You know, a lot of people don't feel confident about getting in front of the camera, and they think, oh, you know, they've got this whole thing about, you know, what do I look like? What do I sound like? Nobody wants to hear what I've got to say, or do people want to hear what I've got to say? So there's this sort of script running in their head. And the other thing is content. So people think, well, I know I need to make video, but what am I going to make the video about? And in fact, my experience of teaching entrepreneurs over the years is that people tend to fall into two camps. So the people who get the tech really easily and don't know what the content is, the people who know what the content is, you know, instinctively, but they find the tech bit, you know, particularly the editing bit at the end, really difficult. Now, you don't have to edit all your own video. I actually, it's the bit that I absolutely adore. But then, you know, with a background as an editor, I think that, you know, that's probably inbuilt. But, you know, you can outsource your editing. So it's really just the content creation that's important bit.
Fantastic. It's really interesting to hear you say that. Those three things we've got, it's like, but I love that you said it was like riding a bicycle. The tech is like riding a bicycle, everybody. And I completely get people need that confidence on camera, and about content and the importance of what we're saying. So Anne, this is all really, really invaluable information. What are your top 3 video communication tips?
Well, I think the first thing, you know, content wise, say to, you know, you need to think, what questions do my customers ask me most often? And, you know, you can make videos about those things and put them out and you know, and they will become your evergreen content, because you know that, you know, if you're in a particular line of work, people are going to always ask those questions. So get those videos made. The other thing that I suggest you can do, and it's a great thing that you can do these days, is go and have a look at what your competitors are putting out there, and don't go and copy them, but just see what they're putting out there. See which of their videos are you know, really, really making an impact, and think, actually, have I got a particular take on that that's different? And if you have, make those videos. And you know, the other thing is that I think that it's really important to think, well, actually, I'm going to try something new, because sometimes it's the new thing that makes the difference. You know, particularly in a sphere like TikTok, you can think, actually, I'm just this is my niche, I'm just going to do this. And there's a lot of evidence that, you know, people put up videos that are, you know, that they have second thoughts about putting this video up, because they think, oh, nobody's going to like this, and then they go viral. And you know, and that's the thing about TikTok, is that you can actually go viral. You can go viral with just posting one video, but you know, there's that potential there. So I think that you know, that you shouldn't feel sort of limited by your content.
So that's really helpful tips there. Thank you so much. And with all this video, it has the potential for one small video to go viral, and that develop your audience hugely and get your word out.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, you know, and you know, well, I'll just say this. The reason I really like TikTok is that, you know, that you've got this potential to tap into this audience that you've never had before. And believe me, there are lots of older business owners going on to TikTok, and it's a growing community. So, you know, there's still this window of opportunity there. But what happens is that people tend to use it as you know, a lead magnet for building their other platforms. And you know, so one video that goes viral on TikTok can lead to your Instagram account sort of suddenly acquiring 10,000 extra followers, or your Facebook account, you know, growing sort of enormously. So I think that's something that people need to bear in mind.
That is fascinating. I hadn't really thought about that knock-on effect from one to the other.
Absolutely.
Really brilliant.
Yes.
And it's wonderful hearing you talk about all of this. And I know you could talk and I could talk to you about it forever because there's so much in there, but there's so much goodness in sharing. Thank you so much. I know you have a free gift for all our audience or your audience. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so I have a membership which is called Video for Midlife, and I am offering people a free month in the membership to come and see some of the things that we talk about. We have 2 sort of full sessions a month, and we have hot seats and Q&A sessions, and there's some teaching as well. So I'm inviting people to join my membership for a month for free, and all they have to do is sign up below.
Amazing. That sounds very valuable. Thank you so much, Anne. And thank you to everybody who's joined us for the Video and Visibility Summit.